All right, all right. Call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakal Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. All right, shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the Bible, of that book. All right, so I just want to get into some quick news real quick, man. I want to report on this real quick. Some quick, before I go to bed. And let's read what's going on. You just had an Iranian, aircraft or an Iranian craft, all right, strike a ship in the Strait of Hormuz. All right, so I just wanted to report on it to let y'all know what's happening, what's going on, man. All right. So it says Iran has conducted multiple attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz in May 2026. All right, and we are in May. It says with a bulk carrier reporting an attack by several small Iranian craft on May 3rd, which is today. All right, according to the UK Maritime Trade Operations. This marked at least the 24th attack in and around the Strait since the war began on February 28, 2026, though no group claimed responsibility. Iranian patrol boats, often small and fast, have been actively challenging vessel passage, enforcing Tehran's control over the strait, while Iran asserts that non-U.S. and non-Israeli ships may pass upon payment of toll. The U.S. has warned companies against complying, calling it a violation of international law. The attack occurred, all right, off Strait, Iran, and all crew members were reported safe. Iran effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz, all right, after the U.S. Israel strikes that killed Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, or Khamenei, some people say, right? I think that might be the true way to pronounce it, Khamenei, right? It says the IRGC has issued VHF warning banning passage and laid sea mines, all right, on May 4th. All right, Iran warned that any U.S. attempt to escort ships through the strait would violate the ceasefire. My bad. All right, would violate the ceasefire. Let's read that again. It says on May 4th, Iran warned that any U.S. attempt to escort ships through the strait would violate the ceasefire. All right, so you see what's going on. Things keep getting amped up. All right, and the Lord is going to keep getting amped up. There's not going to be any, peace deal, man. It's just going to keep getting amped up until nuclear missiles fly, man. All right, so you got another article here coming from ABC Net AU, right? It says cargo ship in Strait of Hormuz reports being attacked as peace negotiations continue. All right, no peace is coming. All right, only the false prophets, all right, spoke about peace, man. All right, the prophets of old in the ancient world always spoke about destruction, hell, misery, pain. All right, wars. They always spoke against many nations and countries. All right, it tells you that in Jeremiah 28. All right, around the 8th verse. Right, so the prophets are doing exactly the same thing today. They're prophesying against many countries and kingdoms. All right, and what's that main country and kingdom? All right, Babylon. All right, America. All right, this place is going to fall. We have been prophesying that. We've been prophesying against this place, letting it know that it's going to fall and be destroyed. All right, the prophets always spoke about evils to come and pestilence and war. All right, and it's the same thing today, man. All right, there's no new under the sun because the prophets of today are the ancient prophets coming back. All right, so they're going to keep prophesying the same thing, man. Death, hell, destruction, war, pestilence, evils, famine. All right. All right. None of these Christian pastors in these Christian churches, are preaching They're not preaching any of that, man. You know what they're preaching to you? Caesar Borgia. All right? White cracker, pale skin, blue eye, blonde hair, Jesus Christ. Right? That's what they're preaching to you, man. All right? A cargo ship near the Strait of Hormuz says it has been attacked by multiple small craft, marking at least 24 attacks in and around the strait since the Iran war began. Meanwhile, Tehran said it was reviewing the U.S. response to its latest proposal to end the war. All right, but you see how things happen where the Lord just keeps making it so, bro, listen, the war not going to end, bro. And if it does end, it's just to, showing you that you got to get right, man. The Lord giving you some time, man. Having mercy, right? And then, but things are just going to keep, escalating, bro, because the whole point is to bring Russia into this war. All right. That's why you just recently, Russia made a new pledge to protect Iran. Right. And that's prophecy as well in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. All right. Russia is going to be a guard unto all these nations. All right. So they had made a new pledge to protect Iran. Right? So something crazy happens to Iran, right, from the U.S. and Israel, right? Because the U.S. is straight enemies with Russia. So if they doing something stupid to Iran, Ezekiel 38. All right? So let's keep going, man. All right? It says, meanwhile, Tehran said it was reviewing the U.S. response to its latest proposal to end the war, but made clear that these were not nuclear negotiations, right? U.S. President Donald Trump said on Sunday that the United States would begin an effort to free up ships stranded in the Strait of Hormuz on Monday morning local time, all right? All crew members on the unidentified northbound cargo ship were safe. All right, after the attack of Strait, Iran east of the Strait, all right, according to the British military's United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations Center, all right, posting to his Truth social platform, Mr. Trump said ships in the Strait of Hormuz needed to move because they were running low on food and everything else necessary for large-scale crews to stay on board in a healthy and sanitary manner. All right, this is his quote. It says, if in any way this humanitarian process is interfered with, that interference will unfortunately have to be dealt with forcefully, he wrote. All right, Iranian officials have asserted that they control the strait, and that ships not affiliated, all right, with the United States or Israel can pass if they pay a toll, challenging the freedom of navigation, all right, guaranteed by international law. All right, there was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack, the first reported in the area since April 22nd. All right, the British Monitor said. All right, Tehran effectively closed the strait by attacking, all right, and threatening ships, all right, and the threat level in the area remains critical. Iranian patrol boats, some powered only by twin outboard motors, are small, nimble, and hard to detect. All right. Trump last month ordered the U.S. military to shoot and kill small Iranian boats that deploy mines in the strait. All right. The fragile 3-week ceasefire appears to be holding, although Mr. Trump said on Saturday that further strikes remain a possibility. All right. Iran reviews U.S. response. All right. You see what's going on, man. All right. It says Tehran is reviewing the U.S. response, all right, to its latest proposal. Iran's judiciary, all right, Mizan news agency cited Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail, all right, Baghei as saying, at this stage, we have no nuclear negotiations, all right, Mr. Baghei said. All right, Iran's nuclear program and enriched uranium have long been a central issue in tensions with the U.S., but Tehran will rather address it later. Iran's proposal wants other issues resolved within 30 days and aims to end the war rather than to extend the ceasefire, right? According to Iran's state-linked media, all right, Mr. Trump said he was reviewing the proposal, but expressed doubt it would lead to a deal, adding on social media that they have not yet paid a big enough price for what they have done. Bruh. What is this, bro? This, all right, bro. All right. It says in nearly 50 years since the Islamic Revolution there. All right. Iran, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. It says Iran's 14-point proposal calls for the U.S. to lift sanctions on Iran. All right. An end to the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports, a withdrawal of forces from the region, and a cease to all hostilities, including Israel operations in Lebanon, according to the semi-official Noor News and Tasnim agencies, which have close ties to Iran security organizations. All right, Iran sent its proposal via Pakistan, which hosted face-to-face talks last month between Iran and the U.S. Pakistan's prime minister, foreign minister, and army chief continue to encourage the U.S. and Iran to speak directly, according to two officials in Pakistan who spoke on condition of anonymity, all right, because they were not authorized to speak to the media, all right. Also on Sunday, Iranian foreign minister, all right, Abbas Araghi, all right, spoke with his counterpart in Oman, who oversaw previous rounds of talks before the war, all right, and in Brazil, all right. So there you have it, man. You see what's going on, all right. There's more, you know. But, you know, that be it. I just wanted to report on this real quick, you know. All right, to let you know what's happening, what's going on. All right, I just, you know, I felt like I had to do something, you know. All right, I just wanted to, you know, report on this, let you know what's happening, what's going on. We're sitting upon our tower, we're watching, man. All right. So with that being said, call Haloyam, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakal Kwitash. All right, on to the next one. Shalom, shalom.